In the bustling 9th century Baghdad, within the great library known as the House of Wisdom, a scholar was working on a problem. It wasn't a single calculation, but something far grander. His name was Muhammad ibn Musa Al-Khwarizmi, and he was about to write a book that would change the course of human thought. He wasn't just solving an equation, he was creating the very system for forming and solving them all. Title of his book was The Compendious Book on Calculation by Completion and Balancing. From the keyword algebra, meaning restoration or completion, we get our modern word algebra. But what exactly was he restoring? Before Al-Khwarizmi, mathematical problems were often collections of specific tricks and examples. A method for splitting an inheritance here, a rule for measuring a field there. There was no unified science. Al-Khwarizmi's genius was to see the underlying structure. He realized that many of these scattered problems shared a common form. They could be expressed as equations involving unknown numbers. It was revolutionary. He moved mathematics from a language of particular problems to a language of general abstraction. He didn't just find a number, he gave the word a toolbox for finding any unknown. He introduced the concept of the thing or the share, what we now call the variable x. But his influence didn't stop with algebra. His name itself entered the lexicon of science. When his later works on Indian numerals were translated into Latin, the title Al-Khwarizmi in Indian numbers led to his name being forever associated with step-by-step calculation. The term algorithm is a direct Latinization of Al-Khwarizmi. Furthermore, while he did not invent the numeral system, his authoritative text was the primary vehicle that introduced the Indian numerals, including the game-changing concept of zero to the Islamic world and later to Europe. This system replaced cumbersome Roman numerals and unleashed new potential for calculation. His work was a cornerstone for later giants. Centuries later, the Renaissance scholars of Europe, poring over Latin translations of his Arabic texts, built their own scientific revolution upon his foundation. The algebra of Newton, Descartes, and the modern world flows in a direct line from the systematic methods he laid down in Baghdad's House of Wisdom. Al-Khwarizmi was more than a mathematician. He was an architect of abstract thought. He gave us the framework to turn complex, real-world chaos into solvable equations. Every time a scientist models a pandemic, an engineer simulates a bridge, or a programmer writes a line of code, they are using tools of abstraction and systematic procedure pioneered by the man whose name gave us both algebra and the algorithm. His legacy is the very structure of our logical world.